Winter was setting in. The birds were getting ready to migrate to an unknown land, and she opened her eyes for the first time. Instead of the cries of war, she heard the birds chirping. Instead of seeing the destruction of bombs, she saw the birds flying. As she grew, even amidst the chaos, her longing to learn and soar high like the birds grew with her. She walked up to her parents, who were rummaging through whatever was left of their home after the recent attacks and violence. Among the ruins, she found her only notebook and clutched onto it. With a heavy heart, she and her parents then joined the rest of the people running away from the violence to survive.
All of these people are fleeing their homes, leaving their entire lives behind, but not willingly. They are being forced to do so. They have embarked on their journey to become refugees. Now, who is a refugee? The 1951 Refugee Convention defines a refugee as someone who is unable or unwilling to return to their country of origin owing to a well-founded fear of being persecuted for reasons of race, religion, nationality, membership of a particular social group, or political opinion. Today, refugees are defined and protected under international law. As of 2019, at least 79.5 million people around the world have been forced to flee their homes. Among them are nearly 26 million refugees, around half of whom are under the age of 18. 68% of the total refugees in the world come from just 5 countries, which are Syria, Venezuela, Afghanistan, South Sudan, and Myanmar.
After days of walking, they finally reached the border and were ready to leave their old life behind. The journey was long, with uncertain outcomes. With many lives already lost and a lot more dangers yet to come, they kept moving on.
Reaching another country is just half the battle fought. Becoming a refugee is a long and often tiring process which involves a large amount of documentation and could take years.
With memories to haunt them forever, their journey of escape was finally over. The refugee camps were the next destination for some, while a few others chose to settle down in urban areas to escape the complicated procedures of documentation that followed. However, soon they came to realize that even in a safe country, life as a refugee could be daunting.
Though camps provide basic necessities like shelter, emergency relief, water, food, healthcare and counseling, registration and legal aid, there still exists severe conditions at every camp like crowding and overpopulation, intense violence and fighting, improper sanitation practices, because of which sickness and disease can become an imminent threat to the whole community. The inhabitants often have to deal with PTSD and various other mental illnesses, which most of the time are ignored. There are usually permanent or temporary camps with their own problems. Permanent camps are often in poor conditions with problems of rodent infestation, water leakage, cracks in the walls, etc. The condition of the temporary tents is even worse. Flooding, poor ventilation, and humidity are also very common in these camps.
Looking around, there were a lot of people who needed help, but only one who could provide the help. At this moment, she knew what she wanted to do and expressed it to her father, who showed her the path to a school, her first step towards achieving that dream.
Trying to walk down the path of education is never easy for any refugee child, irrespective of gender, country, and age. an estimated 128 million primary and secondary aged children are out of school in crisis affected countries, including 67 million girls. Many reasons become a hindrance to the basic right of education, foremost being displacement itself, which causes disruption in their lives. In 2018, 4 out of 5 refugee children were likely to miss entire schooling years or never even return to school because of the displacement. Then comes the problem of lack of resources and schools. 85% of refugees are usually located in low or middle income countries. Even when they reach school, the increasing costs of primary, secondary, and high school often makes the children drop out in mid-schooling years. Even where the schools exist, there are overflowing classrooms, lack of teachers, basic facilities, and learning material. People often opt for parallel schooling with unrecognized certifications, which persists as a temporary response but not a permanent solution. Many children also do not make it to school as there is a pressure upon them to support their household in the new country. Other problems like attacks on education and inadequate funds exist in many countries. Over the last 5 years, 41 countries have suffered at least 5 attacks on education, and also only 2.6% of humanitarian funds go to education. Furthermore, there are not enough female teachers to act as role models and encourage families to send their girls to school.
Even among all the hardships, there are organizations working hard towards making education a reality for all refugee children.
Many organizations have realized the issues and tried to fight them for and along the refugee children. The United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, UNHCR, is the world organization established by the United Nations General Assembly in 1950. It leads and coordinates international action to protect refugees worldwide. UNHCR partners with governments and international organizations to ensure quality protective education for refugee children and young people everywhere. Mercy Corps and UNICEF provide direct help to the Syrian refugees to help them with their living conditions and basic facilities. This in turn could help children access education without worrying about their daily needs. Save the Children is another such organization providing shelter and safe education to Syrian refugee children. Due to the initiatives taken by such organizations, many refugee children have been able to go to school and get proper education. Steps have been taken, but there is still a long way to go. Even after getting into a school, refugee children face a lot of more hurdles. They often have to learn a new language to be able to study in the host country. Even a simple instruction from the teacher can be quite complex for the refugee children. They may also have difficulties in making friends in school. They might be teased and bullied for differences in how they speak, dress, or look, or for behaviors unfamiliar to the local students. Often such situations can escalate into physical fights or leave refugee students in constant fear. Persistent bullying and teasing is difficult to endure on a daily basis and can lead to some children dropping out of school. These problems again are mostly just societal constructs and can be easily solved if the people of the host country, especially the students, are more accepting towards the refugees and make them feel included and help them in whatever small or big way possible. Education is a fundamental human right enshrined in the 1989 Convention on the Rights of the Child and the 1951 Refugee Convention. Every girl and boy in every country is entitled to it. Education provides new generations with leaders, doctors, scientists, engineers, writers, historians, spokespersons, and innovators. Refugee children have already lost their present to the wars. Education can ensure that at least their future is protected. This is especially advantageous to girls because education reduces their vulnerability to exploitation, sexual and gender-based violence, teenage pregnancy, and child marriage. According to UNESCO, if all girls completed primary school, child marriage would fall by 14%. If they all finished secondary school, it would drop by 64%. Another UNESCO research shows that one additional year of school can increase a girl's earnings by up to a fifth, bringing benefits for the girls themselves, along with their future families and their communities. Also, schools can serve as a safe space for the displaced children as it provides them with a place of normalcy and routine, which helps them to overcome the violence, hunger, isolation, and other stressful situations that they might have experienced. Well-educated refugee children can grow up to lead their own communities and work for their betterment. They can be lobbyists for better education and create opportunities for future generations. According to the World Bank, each year of education reduces the risk of conflict by around 20%.
Did you think this was a story of one refugee? The answer is no. It is probably the story of many people you may already know about.
A child with proper education could be a teacher, doctor, engineer, or pilot. The possibilities are endless, and some refugee children have proved it. Bizimana was 2 years old when his family had to flee the Rwandan genocide to Burundi. From there, he moved to the camps in Tanzania and now lives in Nairobi, Kenya. He received business startup training and has established a business that has grown so fast that he is now able to start a cafe service. He is also a prize-winning singer. Yusra Mardini is a swimmer from the refugee team which participated in the Olympic Games for the first time in its history. She is a young Syrian rising swimmer who embarked on an evacuation boat to escape the war to Europe. When the boat was not working, she and her sister had to swim in the Mediterranean overnight to haul a boat with 19 refugees ashore. Currently, she holds refugee status and is on her training in Germany. At the latest Olympic Games in Rio de Janeiro, she was ranked 41st in the 100-meter freestyle. The initiator of relativity theory, which earned him the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1921, Albert Einstein, was born and raised as a Jewish German citizen before leaving his home to flee the genocide of Jews to Switzerland and then the United States. In 1940, he became an American citizen and lived his life there until his death. One of the most successful pop singers in England today, Rita Ora, was born in an Albanian family in Yugoslavia. Her parents decided to seek refuge and settle down in London when she was only 1 year old in order to flee the Albanian execution in the era when Yugoslavia was falling. Now, she is a British citizen. One of the founders of the worldwide retail store Marks & Spencer, Michael Marks, was a Polish immigrant who migrated to England to apply for a job with a British company employing refugees. He learned English and sales knowledge from scratch until he could share investment with his friends to set up their own retail business. His business was very successful and he was granted British citizenship at a later date. Freddie Mercury was the lead singer of the famous band Queen. He was born as Farrokh Bulsara on September 5, 1946 in Zanzibar. Following a bloody revolution on the islands in 1964, his family fled to London. Mercury attended the Ealing College of Art and befriended a number of musicians. He played with a few other bands before joining forces with his future Queen bandmates. Max Born was a physicist who contributed to the quantum mechanics theory and received the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1954. In 1933, when the Nazi army was in power, he was dismissed and expelled from the university because of his Jewish descent. He made his way to Italy, England, and Scotland, seeking refuge in those countries before winning the Nobel Prize and returning to Germany towards the end of his life. The 14th Dalai Lama, the Tibetan spiritual and thought leader, was born and raised in a farmer family in northern Tibet. He had to seek refuge in India in 1959 during the Tibetan uprising against the Chinese rule and received the Nobel Peace Prize 30 years later from his work to promote peace and human rights around the world. The legendary world-famous Jamaican reggae musician Bob Marley and his wife in the late 1976 were about to be assassinated and were seriously injured, which was caused due to political reasons. After rehabilitation, he moved to London before passing away in the next 5 years. He was instrumental in peace calls during the political upsurge in Jamaica.
Don't feel sorry for them. Believe in them. Although refugee education is becoming possible today, the organizations working towards it cannot do so alone. They need our help to spread the message and support them.